What is going on, FA Nation? John Pemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook preview show. Today is Tuesday. We are
also not the preview.
Live show. We didn't have a preview show today.
Well, we did.
Yeah. It is technically a preview show, but we're live. We're looking at the 11-game DraftKings main slate. I'll let everybody kind of work their way in before we discuss what happened to this morning's preview show. Which, if you went to fantasyalarm.com, you could have watched. It was there. If you're in the Discord, we posted it. It was there. Get you guys ready to be able to view it. If you were on YouTube between the hours of like 10 p.m. and like 4 a.m., you were able to watch it.
Yep.
But after that, you were not able to see the preview show on YouTube this morning. Jeff P popping in saying howdy. Justin saying happy Tuesday. Pod saying baseball bong rip season continues from Garden City, Colorado. Love having you guys in the chat with us here.
Never heard that one before.
Yeah. Grande time, says Richard. Big Grande fan.
Hell yeah.
Baseball in hand. Playbook done.
So it's my son got this when we went to the minor league affiliate around us, and someone tossed him a baseball. This was not caught, although I have previously stated I will throw people out of the way to catch a foul ball to make sure people are safe. Of course.
Are you checking the prospect statuses of any of the guys flowing through?
Yeah, couple.
Try to snag some early autos, you know.
Yeah, we tried to get my son to do it, and he was petrified.
Okay, because they'll sign for him, they won't sign for you.
Will not. So. No, they have an area on the field pregame that he can go behind the little gate, and he did not. But about the 7th inning or so, ran to the mascot and got him to sign the ball.
Mascot's not going to get you any money later.
No, it's not. But he was much more excited for that. Okay. Loved the game. Just wanted the mascot to sign the ball. Not this ball. Because he got like 3 of them.
JC saying full slate, big stacks. Got to build that bankroll here today. Warren saying hi as well. All right, we got more of you will trickle in throughout the show, but to address this morning, our MLB DFS preview show, which we release each and every night, for whatever reason, was taken down by YouTube since we violated their guidelines. We do the same show each and every day. Have absolutely no idea what we do. When I reach out to the support, they wouldn't even tell me. They just said we violated their terms of use guidelines regarding promotion of gambling, which, again, we're not promoting gambling. DFS is legally considered a game of skill, and we're not the only site out there that does a DraftKings DFS show and DFS-related content, but they pulled that show down. They gave us a strike. If we get another strike, we can't publish on YouTube for a week, and then obviously those penalties escalate. So again, if you guys are just tuning in now wondering, hey, John, James, what happened to the morning show? We had it for you guys. It was live for like 6 hours, and then the YouTube morning shift guy woke up and says not today and just decided to ban us. So we have options for you guys if you are looking for the morning for the preview show. We have it published on fantasyalarm.com for you guys to be able to watch. It's free over there as well. You can go to fantasyalarm.com, watch it there. We'll publish it in the Discord, so you guys can also find it in the Discord. If you're a member, we'll put it in the free channels so you can join our Discord for free and have access to the preview show. We also have a Twitch channel. If you guys have a Twitch account, the link to the Twitch account is in the description of the show you're watching today on YouTube. You can go there. You can follow us on Twitch. That's also free. Those shows are going to be published there as well. We're just trying to give you guys as many opportunities and options to watch our show in case, for whatever reason, YouTube decides they don't like us anymore and pulls down our preview shows. We'll always, of course, go live from our Twitter account, so you can find us there and whatnot. But just a heads up. Again, don't know why they did it, but today they pulled down and took off our YouTube show. So hopefully it won't be an issue moving forward. But I don't know, man. we got a couple of warnings like a few weeks back. In March, apparently YouTube changed their terms policy regarding gambling promotion, which again, we're not promoting gambling. Going over the DraftKings slate, DFS, daily fantasy sports.
Example lineup.
In their examples, they say fantasy sports is allowed. So again, I am very confused as to why they did what they did. Maybe we'll refrain from mentioning props, I guess, or like odds and betting. Hopefully, maybe that will change some things. But yeah, that's what we had to deal with this morning. So apologies if you were looking for the preview show and couldn't find it on YouTube. We'll do our best, I guess, to weather the storm here. Yeah.
I don't have much to add other than thank you guys for your support. Big slate. Bart Scott, can't wait.
Yeah. Richard said Rumble's a great pivot. We'll look into everything, honestly. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what other options we have to publish the channel and publish the show if we get taken down from YouTube. I'm hopeful that we won't get taken down from YouTube and we can just continue to post every morning like we do so you guys can enjoy it and not have to deal with all that kind of I don't know, policing nonsense. Because again, our show didn't do anything. The section they highlighted as a reason that we were banned was me talking about how bad Bowden Francis is about giving up home runs to lefties. So, there's just it was kind of wild. But no segment on 5 minutes of Sensatella. It was a Bowden Francis talk, which is what they highlighted there. So we'll go. All right, let's get into this because again, we got 11 games. We have a lot to talk about. Fortunately, the weather is not really going to be an impact for us for rain. We do have some wind. We highlighted Chicago, Colorado on the morning show, which none of you saw, but we did. Wind is blowing in and cool, which means good news for us if we wanted to play some Cade Horton at $8,000. But we do have 3 top price starting pitchers on the slate tonight, James. You did the playbook, so break it down for us. Are we looking to find ourselves to spend up at one of the top 3 10K starting pitchers tonight?
If you are a subscriber at fantasyalarm.com, the cover of today's playbook came from this section.
Okay.
He is allowed to have a beard this year, and suddenly he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. Do you think that's a coincidence, John? I do not. Carlos Rodon is my top spend at pitcher today if we're going there. Obviously, we could talk about the Angels and their ability to hit home runs. It looks like Logan O'Hoppe will not be in the lineup tonight. Just one of their guys that does hit more home runs than everyone else. But besides that's a bad offense. 23rd in WOBA, 24th in WRC plus, and they have a 27% K rate against left-handed pitching. Ryan Yarbrough, who is not Carlos Rodon, had 7 strikeouts last night over 6 innings. And again, it's not apples to apples, but Ryan Yarbrough also doesn't have a 31% strikeout rate this year. Carlos Rodon does. And we've talked about that a lot. He has been amazing.
Yeah.
For basically since the first couple starts. And even after those starts, if you listen to Aaron Boone talk, he's like, yeah, I think he's looked great. I think he's just gotten some bad luck. And it's something that you and I had talked about. One of those starts, there was a missed call or what was perceived to be a missed call. And then it was a home run after that. And so I think Carlos Rodon with a bullet of the top 3 guys is the best play. That's not like some type of secret. He is the highest rostered of the 3 as well, but it's a great spot. I think Hunter Brown would be the next guy in this tier I'd go to. Don't have a lot to say other than Hunter Brown's really good, and I'm kind of just okay with him having one bad start when it's in Tampa in the middle of the day in 90-degree weather, right? Like that's okay. And then
imagine having both of those starting pitchers on your fantasy team.
Yeah, that would be a pretty good 1-2 punch.
Probably feeling pretty good about
Probably
that.
don't need someone like Zach Gallen on your team if you have that guy.
Definitely would not need a Zach Gallen.
But I think of all these pretty comfortable third, like gap, like sizable gap, because Toronto just, I'm not saying he can't strike them out, but Jacob deGrom has been striking guys out as good as anyone and as well as anyone has in baseball lately, and he had no strikeouts yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think Eovaldi is comfortably third behind the other two. But I think Rodon is a surefire great play.
Yeah, when you look at the ownership, you mentioned obviously Rodon right up there as your highest rostered starting pitcher. Obviously, you can make some pivots. But we did mention Cade Horton as a guy that we thought would be popular with this matchup against Colorado, and he is. He's your second highest rostered play. And then Corbin Burns was the other one, $9,300 gets Pittsburgh. Again, Horton, more ownership than Burns, both in great spots here. How do you decide between the two today?
I am so mad at the Corbin Burns ownership, John. I saw the update and because he has not been rostered all day long.
All day long, yeah.
And when I dove into Corbin Burns today, I was like, and we had talked about it on the pre-show that doesn't exist, or it kind of half exists. People don't know it exists, but it's there on fantasyalarm.com. The strikeouts look real. Last 3 games, Corbin Burns' swinging strike rate, 17, 20, 12. He's had 2 other instances this year where he's been, he's had 2 other instances where he's had a high strikeout game. He had an 11% strikeout rate and a 15% or swinging strike rate and a 15% swinging strike rate. Suddenly, Corbin Burns missing bats, right? Like that had been kind of lost upon at the All-Star break last year. Something happened. He stopped missing bats. Started this year, kind of wasn't missing bats. And now he's missing bats again. And the Pirates aren't a team that like strikes out a ton, 22% against right-handed pitching, but they are so bad outside of O'Neal Cruz, who is susceptible to strikeouts. Like O'Neal Cruz isn't a perfect player. He hits a hard, he physically has the hardest hit ball of all time. That is a fact, at least in the StatCast era. And I don't think previous to StatCast era, anyone hit the ball harder than 122 miles an hour. But they're 29th in OPS, WOBA, and WRC plus, and they're dead last in ISO. And now you're getting a pitcher that's missing bats, who is $1,000 too cheap when he's missing bats, because he's one of the best pitchers in baseball when he's doing that, right?
Like a couple years ago.
Right. So when I saw his ownership where it was earlier, because it had not been like more than 10% basically all day, and now he's the third highest rostered pitcher of the day, and I'm super sad about it. I think Corbin Burns is as good per dollar as any other pitcher on the slate. On the Cade Horton front, like Cade Horton, top prospect, one of the top pitching prospects in all the game, hasn't looked great in a couple matchups that he should have probably looked great in. Now, Miami, not as bad as they have been in years past. They're about league average in most categories against right-handed pitching. Right? League average is league average.
Once Matt Mervis returned to being not good, right? That their numbers against righties tanked a little bit. Sanchez did homer yesterday, though.
Well, what I'm saying is like perception is Cade Horton probably should have had a better game against Miami, but they're better than I think people thought.
Sure.
The White Sox, you've said it a bunch, they're better than earlier in the year. So like this is the ultimate test. If Cade Horton can't or struggles with the Rockies in bad weather, then maybe now is not the time for Cade Horton. But I think all signs point to him having success because he keeps the ball on the ground. There's really good weather to pitch in, and they're just the worst offense in baseball. So I like Cade Horton. I think there's a lot of different approaches. I think Rodon, Corbin, if you can get there, works. I think going down, one of those guys plus Horton works. I think McGill is someone that we have yet to talk about. I think he looks really good because the strikeouts are.
Yeah, he's the other guy. He's number 4 in ownership, McGill. So
It's just the strikeouts. Like we talk about this all the time. Like I am just not surprised anymore when a player or a pitcher who strikes people out is getting ownership, right? Because
he didn't even go 5 innings that last start at 25 fantasy points.
didn't even need to get 5 innings, and it was in probably every winning GPP lineup at 8,300. So, yeah, I could be sold on basically any of those names, and then you would really have to sell me on anything else because I think the rest of the pitcher stinks.
I do think it's interesting to see the double-digit ownerships on Logan Evans and Bowden Francis specifically. We always talk about...
Don't bring up Bowden Francis. We can't bring him up on this show.
Yeah, all right, they'll ban us. That's true. Taj is someone, obviously, again, another guy that I think we're all, tempted by the talent. Strikeouts are coming back, 7-6 the last 2 starts. Again, hasn't been great, but I'll live with 6 innings, 2 earned, and 2 of the last 3. Like, you keep giving me those,
yes,
and we can sit here and have a conversation at $7,000. He's right there in the middle. He actually just got a quick downgrade to 10%. Corbin Burns also just jumped down to 15%. So we're getting live updates here.
Love that.
We'll see if it adjusts as we get closer to roster lock. Cade Horton's now your top guy. Carlos Rodon's still there, so 1-2 didn't change at all. Burns now in the mid-teens. Bradley at 10%. Logan Evans also still at 10% at 6,500. I'd be more inclined to play Taj today than going the Evans or the Bowden Francis route, but all 3 of those guys are right there at similar ownership tonight.
I agree. I also did that. That's the only other addition I had in the playbook today, Taj Bradley. Another guy, it's weird because the ground balls are up, the fly balls are down, the hard contact way down, like 10% lower this year for Taj Bradley. So like all 3 things you want, right? More ground balls, less fly balls, less hard contact. It's like, oh, that's great, especially for a guy who misses bats. 9% swinging strike rate. Not great, Bob. But 12% or better in 3 straight outings. And you just alluded to it. Like he's generating swing strikes. The velocity's not down. The pitch mix hasn't changed all that much. Like, and the Twins are just a whatever offense, right? Like as much as we spew our Twins propaganda on the world, like we also know, like, yeah, they're just okay. Like Royce Lewis has not been the same player since last year's injury.
Still
no Buxton.
Right?
Yeah, no Buxton. Brooks Lee, we love. He's not a 4-hitter. He's hitting 4 tonight. That's not a 4-hitter in like a serviceable lineup.
Get me back to Keyshaw,
They lost Keyshaw. Like there's a lot of flaws in the Twins lineup. So like if you're willing to take a shot on Taj, I'd be willing to. The one thing about Logan Evans I found interesting today when I was looking at him, he's pretty good against lefties. Like really good against lefties. So at least the numbers have bared out to me. Not like in terms of like swinging stuff, or he doesn't miss bats in general. Like he's not. But the Nationals have all lefties, dude. Like they have they're all their top 5 in their lineup are going to hit from the left side.
I mean, Abrams and Wood are obviously their 2 best players.
Nathaniel Lowe hits third. I don't know if we got an Angels lineup yet or a Nationals lineup, but like Nathaniel Lowe is going to hit third, and Kybert is going to hit from the left side, even though he's a switch hitter, but he's obviously going to hit. So like I could see the ballpark plus how good he is against lefties, like making sense. Plus, like Yankees and Diamondbacks are really expensive. I think they're 2 of the better offenses on the day. But he doesn't miss. Like we're just talking about Taj Bradley. At least we've seen Taj Bradley like miss bats at the major league level. Like Logan Evans does not miss bats. So I'm not really there. I'm not. He obviously has the better environment to pitch in than Taj Bradley. Taj Bradley, near game time, it's 90 degrees, and that's not great in Tampa. But I'd still rather Taj Bradley than someone like Logan Evans.
Sure. Anything else? We had a question on Sears. Again, problem with Sears is not missing any bats whatsoever, and he's going up against Hunter Brown. So, like, very low win equity and not pitching all that well. I get we've not been too afraid of the Houston lineup, but they do have some guys that are starting to come around a little bit. Predy's obviously been really good. Our boy, our meme, Cam Smith, been awesome. So I don't think I really want to spend 8K on JP Sears when I can spend 8K on Cade Horton here.
Yeah, I'll start with Sears. We have a bunch of pitching comments that we can rapid fire, like a ton. Sure. The Sears one is interesting, and I don't know what gives, because the Astros have been atrocious against lefties. Like, everyone's hitting, nobody's hitting, but last year they were great, and everything this year is a small sample. And the only thing that really interests me about Sears is how popular Houston is tonight, right? The leverage on playing Sears would be tremendous if he has a good outing. Sure. Because if Houston just stinks against lefties, then the leverage is elite, because then you're playing a guy who everyone's stacking against, and they just have been bad against lefties. So
last 30 days, they have a 180 ISO, a 315 WOBA, and like a 250 batting average, 240 batting average against left-handed pitching.
On the year, there is not one player in their lineup other than Yanier Diaz. Cam Smith is the only one in 2025 with a 350 WOBA or better.
Yeah, 312 WOBA is 12th. 180 ISO is 7th the last 30 days against left-handed pitching. So, again, earlier in the season, really, really bad. They're seemingly, as we get larger sample sizes, improving slightly. So
they're all so small, by the way. Like, these 20, 28, 23, 20. The highest sample is Yanier Diaz at 29 29 plate appearances.
Last 7 days, Houston has a 0 ISO, 0, 0, 0.
Dude, they don't right, but they don't hit home runs against lefties. That's kind of like the thing all year. So that's obviously interesting. I do like Houston. I even put in the playbook. I tweeted it out today. Even the thing with Houston is the most interesting thing of the day, because they're cheap. Everyone's playing them, but they haven't full season looked good against lefties.
They do have guys that have historically profiled well against lefties.
Historically looked great against lefties as of last year, and that was in my tweet too. Last year these guys were good against lefties. So what is it? Just the small sample? Is it? So we had that. We had Kolek. I am not so much on the Kolek bandwagon. He has been pretty subpar peripherally, especially against lefties. The strikeout rate looks pretty good. And I'm not there's not a lot of lefties in the Miami lineup. Jesus Sanchez homered last night. Kyle Stowers homers a lot and just has a lot of power.
Yeah.
Mervis has power. They called up Mesa the other day. Mesa's probably going to crack the lineup. I don't know if we have a Miami lineup yet, but Mesa's probably going to be in it. He was a powerful dude in the minor leagues. It's a good ballpark. It's fine. 8.4K is kind of ridiculous though for the price. When Cade Horton's cheaper and McGill is a little bit more expensive. Then we had someone comment about not playing Rodon because the Taylor boys. And I believe that has something to do with Chris Taylor, who made his debut yesterday for the Angels.
And
guys, I mean, Taylor Ward, yeah. But we cannot in the year of 2025 with a new Pope be worried about Chris Taylor, who hasn't hit higher than 200 in 3 seasons.
Yeah, but he's 5 for 9 with a homer off of him.
Please, Willie, please, I beg of you. I beg of you to not factor in not playing Carlos Rodon because of that guy being 5 of 9. That cannot be a reason why you're just icing off one of the best pitchers on the board. I said it, the Angels hit home runs. We've said it all along, every day. Angels hit home runs. They might have a game this week. They hit 6 home runs. We'd be like, yep. They also struck out against Brian Yarbrough 7 times yesterday. Like, Brian Yarbrough throws an 87-mile-an-hour fastball. It just kind of is what it is, but you cannot fade Rodon because of Chris Taylor. You can't. McGill we talked about, and then that's it.
Okay. That's it. We do have more of you guys in here now, so again, just going to give a quick circle back. Our preview show this morning got taken down from YouTube. We got a warning. If we get another strike, they'll prevent us from posting for a week. So if you're looking for our content and you don't see it on YouTube, you can go to fantasytime.com, find it for free. Also, in the description of this current YouTube live show, I put our Twitch channel. If you want to go ahead, free to do, go hit a follow, subscribe to us over on Twitch. We'll post our shows there as well. Would certainly appreciate the support. In case, for whatever reason, we're forced to go dark on YouTube for whatever period of time, we want to make sure you guys can still all find our shows, and we'll be putting it on Twitter as well, so you can find us there. All right, let's jump into the catcher position.
John. Chris Taylor hitting 8th tonight.
Oh
no. Just kidding, Billy. I'm sorry.
Got to lock him in. Catcher position. Where do we start? I don't know what the warning was. They said we violated their community gambling terms, even though we aren't.
We have no idea.
Promote gambling. It even says in the link they sent me, it says that fantasy sports and daily fantasy sports is allowed. Yet when I appealed it, they denied my appeal and said that we violated their gambling promotion terms. I don't know what it was. I have no idea. So if you go to look for the preview show tonight and you don't see it, go to fantasytime.com, go to our Twitch channel, which you can find the link in the description of today's show. Go in the Discord and you'll be able to find it there. But hopefully we'll have no more problems on YouTube. But we did, at least for tonight or for this morning's show. So, all right. Where do we want to go with catcher today? I mentioned Stevenson going against Lynch. You talked about Lynch probably not long for this game, but what do you think here for catcher?
So if you're spending up, I think it's Cal Raleigh. I think that would probably be the direction I'd go, which I'm not. But if you are, that'd be the direction I'd go. I think in the 3K range is where I'd want to live. Yanier Diaz is obviously going to be popular. He's in play. 34.
I absolutely have money on Yahoo. Absolutely have money on Yahoo.
Okay, go play Chris Taylor over there.
I always forget.
Go play Chris Taylor over there. Yanier Diaz, $3,400. Jonah Heim, $3,500. Carlos Narvaez, $3,600. All three of those guys look really good. I prefer the lefties for Boston. Savali has not gotten lefties out in a couple of years, including through his first couple starts this year, pre and post injury. Jonah Heim obviously looks pretty good against Bowden Francis. I understand the Bowden Francis ownership, by the way, only because Texas can't hit, even with their new hitting coordinator.
Not the power side split for Heim. He's better versus lefties, but I don't think it's going to matter. 3.8 homers per 9 allowed by Bowden Francis to left-handed hitters. So you'll get Jonah on the left side, and he might pop one anyways.
Like Gabriel Moreno, I am really interested in Diamondbacks tonight against Burrows. There's a lot of power allowed by Burrows. And then dropping below $3,000, you can play Mitch Garver hitting 5th. And then Reese McGuire, $2,500.
Sure.
I'm not going to jerk you around here, but $2,500 is probably, probably a pretty good price for the guy hitting 9th against the guy who death by 1,000 paper cuts. Like Reese, this is perfect matchup for like 3 hits for Reese McGuire. Just death by 1,000 paper cuts here.
Yeah, that's fine by me. First base position we go. Pete Alonso is your top guy at $5,200. Getting Michael Busch at $4,800 against Marquez. Paul Goldschmidt gets a lefty, and Tyler Anderson at $4,600. Naylor homered last night. He's got Burrows at 45. Aranda homered last night. Not that we're looking to go against Joe Ryan, but once again, optimal hitting conditions in Tampa Bay. Thoughts on the top half of this first base position?
Yeah, like Alonso, I think the righties look pretty good against Jonathan Cannon here. A lot of really bad underlying numbers for Cannon, specifically against righties. I actually think the numbers look pretty good against lefties, which is interesting. Elevated strikeout rate, elevated swinging strike rate. So I think Alonso's my favorite Met. I love Goldschmidt. We built with Goldschmidt on our fake podcast last night.
Yep.
$4,600. He absolutely smashes lefties. It's going to lead off against them. Love Josh Naylor against Burrows. Kind of had already alluded to that, but I'm very interested in Arizona. They have a 2025 All-Star hitting second tonight too. We'll get to with no Catella in their lineup, but Naylor hitting fourth. Tampa. I think you can one-off some Tampa if you want. Aranda, Brandon Lau, Caminero. Like, I wouldn't stack against Joe Ryan, but they have a lot of power and it's a small ballpark, so you can obviously play any of that. And then don't hate Hoskins against Fitz. Fitz has not looked good at the major league level in each of the last couple seasons. And then Pavin Smith, I think the power has kind of just evaporated. He's just kind of a doubles guy now. But I do like, and I also kind of hate that he lost his eligibility because you kind of, his outfield eligibility, because you kind of have to make a decision on him or Naylor. Naylor's obviously in the more optimal lineup position and probably will correlate better with your stacks, but I do like Pavin Smith at 4K. And then I guess the question is, once again, what gives? Will Christian Walker and his super high ownership and super long history against lefties pan out here? Because even when I did the research today, my playbook headline, John, for Astros today.
Yeah.
I'd like the Astros to start hitting lefties today. That's what I wrote. That was my headline for the Astros. I'd like the Astros to start hitting them because JP Sears has allowed a 209 ISO, which is a 227 expected ISO to righties, a 330 expected WOBA, a 48% fly ball rate, and 1.7 home runs to righties. It's all bad.
Yeah. He doesn't strike anybody out. So Christian Walker should be able to put bat on ball here, But
he's extremely popular, and he has not been good. As in the vacuum.
The last 2 days.
I know, but that's like me saying no to Chris Taylor because
there was a point in time when Jake Berger was sent down this year, right? And he's come back and been better. So
we don't have to keep harping on it, but we know why he is.
Yeah, that's true. You mentioned low, $3,800 for Nathaniel there. Pascantino against Singer, $3,400 for him. Jacob Young's hitting 6th today, hit 5th yesterday. Or Jared Young, rather.
Yeah, Jared. Happy for him.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Second base we go then. Ketel Marte, 56. Bryce Terang, $4,600. Nico's 44 there. What are you thinking at second today?
I would have said Ketel. He's not in the lineup, which is sad.
I'm afraid if I refresh, we'll lose it, but I'll refresh it anyways.
Nice. Oh,
we knew it was gonna happen.
John, you just can't, dude. You can't do it. You knew. Dylan Moore, 45. He gets a lefty. He hits lefties extremely well.
Hold on. Let me trying to figure out how to fix this now. Got to get to the screen with the thing on the thing.
Agreed on all those fronts. The thing with the thing.
The thing with the thing. Yep. All right. Let's see. Next. There you go. This one. There we go.
We back?
We're back. All right.
Okay. So Dylan Moore, 45, I think looks fine. I don't think this is much of a spend up position. I Brandon Lau, you can obviously play for a one-off. Altuve is going to be very popular. Has been good lately, and he's cheap. Like, I get the ownership behind Houston, but again, what gives? Because they haven't been good. Can't play Christian Campbell, although I love the lineup position for Christian Campbell. I think
just forcing him into the cleanup hole.
Yeah, they're just it's so forced.
Because they won't call up Roman Anthony. So
they won't. Cody Clemens has been super, super good. Take that for what it's worth. I don't know what it's worth, but he has been really good this year. So if you want to play Clemens moving up the lineup, Brooks Lee is hitting fourth. We talked about that already. Like, not a 4-hitter at all in any capacity, but that's where they are kind of forced to hit him because they don't really have like able bodies. And then I think you can just punt Dubois. Like, 2,500. This is an easy punt spot because Dubois is going to be in the lineup. He has, I mean, he's the team has a good total. He's been good, and he's kind of good. So he's kind of just been good for a while.
Baseball Savant page for Cody Clemens.
It is sick. He is, dude. He's just has been really good. Now he's never been good.
Nenever been good. No, but there are guys, they change some things here and there,
right?
And then who's
for sure. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying
he does have an expected WOBA of 442, expected slugging of 630. And an average exit velo. He was basically 100%, would be a 100 percentile average exit velo guy. So pretty crazy numbers.
Dude, they sent down Edouard Julien. To keep Clemens on the roster because he's just been hitting, right? Like, Lawler's in the lineup.
At some point, Jordan Lawler's going to have to get a base hit this year.
Right? He'll get a base hit. Right? I mean, yeah. If you want to punt Jordan Lawler because that team looks great today.
Dude, he was a top 10 prospect in baseball right now, and he's 0 for the season. He's got Burrows.
Jordan Lawler is a top 5 owned second baseman today because the position stinks, and people are just saying what you just said. Like, he's got to hit at some point.
At some point, he has to hit.
My thing is and it doesn't matter. He's 2K, so if he gets you a 0, I mean, he is 100% getting pinch hit for by Ketel Marte or other.
If the game's close, late
at some point today, yeah.
I agree. All right, third base gives you Devers. You mentioned you like the lefties versus Savali already, so I'd imagine he'd be one you'd be looking to lock in. Eugenio homered again last night, $4,500 for him against Burrows. Paredes, I would imagine among the more popular Houston plays today.
Yes.
$4,300 for him.
Yeah, I do not want to gloss over Machado either. The Max Meyer splits have been pretty concerning. Righties are hitting him very hard. Lefties are expected stuff is pretty good, but righties are hitting him really hard. 175 ISO, 352 WOBA. Machado has been good against righties, and the expected stuff looks great. And then we'll get to Tatis. And I love a little 2-man stack of Machado and Tatis as a just super contrarian build.
Okay.
But all the other three are super elite. Rafael Devers looks amazing against Savali. His numbers against righties look amazing.
Nobody's playing him right now either. 3% for Devers.
Yeah, because everyone got burned over the weekend, so you need to have goldfish memory. I wrote up Devers and Duran as my two must play Red Sox today. Eugenio homers against everybody, 15 homers this year. I mean, he perfect GPP play always. Paredes super popular, deservedly so. He's super good. And then I think there's a pretty good string of sub 4K plays. Josh Young looks okay. Matt Shaw looks pretty good. I like the Espinal lineup spot. I love Marcelo Meyer hitting 6th. I love Brett Beatty hitting 5th tonight. Abraham Toro, 2,700. He's hitting 8th. Does hit from the left side or is a switch hitter. So you get him from the left side tonight against a guy who has struggled against left-handed bats. So I think this is a pretty good top to bottom position where you can comfortably play someone in basically every range.
Sure. Yeah, I don't have any arguments. There's a lot of great plays. Third base, one of the deeper, I think, positions today. Shortstop. A lot of options to spend up, a lot of big names to spend up for. From an ownership perspective today, everybody's looking at Jeremy Pena in the mid-tier and Lindor up top. So how are you feeling about Lindor being the top spend-up of this group?
A little indifferent about Mets lefties in general. I get it. I feel like they're probably cheaper than we're going to see them for most of this year. Like once Soto and Lindor really get going, like they're going to be significantly more expensive. Even Brandon Nimmo's like $3,600 today. That's criminally priced. I don't have a lot of good or bad. Like if you end up on Lindor, it's fine. I don't have like a lot of desire to spend up at short today. I know that's like kind of a contrarian take usually. Like we love this tier. I'd play Zach Neto as a one-off just because he hits lefty so well and Rodon is susceptible to home runs. And Neto can also steal a base. So like if Rodon has any struggles with control, Neto walks, steals a base, scores. Like that's, can do that twice. Other than that, I really like the rest of shortstop. Dansby, I think looks great. I know the weather looks terrible, but the Cubs are an elite offense. Dansby Swanson's been really good against right-handed pitching this year. Anthony Volpe is elite against left-handed pitching, over 200 ISO. He hits in the middle of their lineup. Geraldo Perdomo, $4,400, hitting second this evening. He looks great. Josh Smith leading off. We've talked about it a little bit, but he's been a corpse, but nothing that Toronto pitcher can't heal. Nope. Jeremy Pena, as you alluded to, is the highest rostered guy, which again, not surprising, just considering the Astros ownership. And another add to the list of the long list of Astros getting all the ownership in the world. Jeremy Pena this year, John, 115 ISO, 315 WOBA to lefties. Expected ISO, 096, expected WOBA, 304. Like, it just hasn't been a good year. It's super small sample, but was a guy last year who hit lefties, 172 ISO, 348 WOBA. Was a guy the year prior, 141 ISO, fine, 361 WOBA. Like, has history of hitting lefties. So people are definitely just playing the history more than they are like this year's data. Because again,
Sears hasn't been good. So
Sears hasn't been good. Hasn't been good. And there's another position I think I'm good with just like living in that range. And then there's like a couple below that I'd play.
I mean, if you liked righties versus Meyer, I mean, I understand that Xander hasn't jumped off the page, but dude, he's got 10 stolen bases now.
Yeah.
And we know Miami, they're allowed the most stolen bases of any team in baseball right now. So if Xander gets on first, he could be on second pretty quick. So there's that.
If Agustin Ramirez is catching today, I would basically play any Padre.
He's last in throwing.
Oh,
percentage.
He's so bad. He can't be a catcher.
Well, remember they cut a guy to call him up who was even worse.
Well, he rakes. They realize like, oh, this guy rakes. We'll have to play him. But like, if they play Hicks at catcher, I'd be less enthused. I don't think we've gotten a Miami lineup yet. No, from what I see, we haven't gotten one. Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't hate the Xander shout. The price is really appealing. I don't hate Carlos Correa. We've talked about him a couple times. He's actually, I think the most interesting thing about Correa since he's returned is the power's been a little back. That's been something that's evaded him for like a couple of years, right? Like he's
got broken knees or hips or something like that, right?
The back.
Whatever was the degenerative thing that cost them all the money, but then got the money.
Yeah, and then he has a twin brother that is playing for him, and instead, yeah.
Jersey theories. All right, outfield, obviously a lot of money to be spent here. Judge, Tucker, Carroll, Cruz, PCA, Tatis, Seiya. I mean, I think we did 5K and up yesterday, but I mean, those are all no-brainers for me there.
Every single guy. There's not a wrong answer. So I remember last night you were like, maybe Bellinger at 5K? I went and looked at Bellinger today, buddy. Guy has like a 400 ISO against lefties this year. And Tyler Anderson stinks against lefty batters. Like, there ain't no wrong answer above $4,000. Not one.
Cruz has a hard spot against Burns, but he hit a ball 122.6 miles an hour. So,
yeah. And all O'Neill Cruz needs is to get on base to steal 2 bases. And then it's like, oh, right. He paid off his price. And then it's like, so like, yeah, I probably don't play O'Neill Cruz. But like, if you're in large field stuff, like, you also can.
Hey, go get your home run.
Yeah, you also can.
From an ownership perspective, obviously you have Altuve with the dual positional eligibility. You have Judge at 66 is your highest spend up today. Soto right up there at $5,100 as well, and then a bunch of value plays. Sort of every other. It's Altuve, Judge 3,966. Nimmo is third with Soto, 36.51. Lourdes and Corbin at 35 and 63. So you're stacking Mets, stacking D-backs there with your one-off Aaron Judge up top for ownership.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely lower on the Mets. I get it. Perception of Jonathan Cannon is bad. Hasn't been terrible against lefties this year. So, 165 ISO is whatever, but 150 expected ISO, 328 WOBA, and 313 expected WOBA. Like, those are not great numbers. And again, I get it. It's Jonathan Cannon, but
the White Sox pitching staff hasn't been as bad.
No, they've been solid, dude. They've been solid for a bunch of no names that no one expected to be good. They've been solid. If you want to play the Mets, play the Mets. I don't like them as much as I like Arizona. I don't like them as much as I like the Yankees. I don't like them probably as much as I like Houston. I don't like them as much as I like the Cubs. But yeah, I mean, they're fine. Like, they're fine. I don't like them as much as I like the Red Sox. I think like Duran and Weiler Abreu both under 5K is criminal. At least from an upside standpoint against Savali. Like,
Duran had 4 hits the other day.
Yeah, right. And Weiler has like multiple 2 home run games this year. So you could play any of those guys. So yeah, I'm definitely lower on the Mets. I'm definitely with or above the field on Arizona for sure.
I like the Chourio one-off play still, $4,400. Richard Fitz called up. They traded Sean Newcomb.
I saw. Back to his old stomping grounds, by the way.
Yeah. Fitz activated off the IL rather, but I guess he only threw like 40 pitches in his one rehab start. So they're expecting him to be rather limited in this go and have a bullpen game afterwards. And Red Sox bullpen really it's been up and down. They've had moments. They've been up and down. But Chourio at $4,400 feels really good. Mentioned obviously you can play the Cubs in that range.
Warren, you're definitely an Astros fan, right? Like I said this on the pre-show that nobody could see. I actually gave you a shout out because we were talking Astros. You got to be an Astros fan. I'm fully convinced.
You do mention Astros fairly often. That's true.
I'm just doing the groundwork here.
Adolis is 4K. Simpson's down to 6 today because you mentioned Lowe's back in the lineup.
Yeah, and they're leading, and Yandy, they let off. They're leading Yandy off tonight.
Altuve, 39, he talked about.
What else do I have in the mid-tier? Grisham hits lefties really well, 47. Sure. We don't have the Yankees lineup yet, but Trent's been really good against lefty pitchers. And again, I don't have a team. Okay.
Your opinion, not mine. What do you have?
I actually want to hear your opinion on this.
I don't have an opinion. Play the Rockies.
Okay. John's opinion stinks. That one that he asked me. I think the Diamondbacks would be my pick there.
Okay. Nobody cares about me. All right.
Well, you just said the Rockies, obviously.
Other values under 3K, 3K and below. Anything for you in this range here?
In 3K, Lourdes, Jake Myers.
Lourdes for sure. Yeah, Lourdes third. Toutman hitting third, second again.
Shout out. Lourdes and Myers probably in that range.
Is Ozuna in? Oh yeah, we got Ozuna hitting fifth.
Yeah.
Can Smith hitting seventh.
Yes, both, and then both those. Those are literally the four guys. The four guys that I have listed in the grid on Fantasy One.
Those four. Milwaukee. Again, I definitely like Chourio. Richard Fitz was okay before he got hurt, pulled like the hamstring or whatever, and then you're going to get a bullpen game. So Red Sox bullpen's been kind of worked lately. It's kind of hit or miss, but I don't love bullpen games because you just got guys coming out for an inning and throwing as hard as they can. So sometimes that can be a detriment.
Well, Brennan Bernardino is going to pitch for the Red Sox because every time I watch the Red Sox, that guy's pitching.
He is so bad too, which is terrible.
I don't hate the idea of Milwaukee. I think they're kind of appropriately priced. They just don't have like
another team where like everybody's struggling. So
yeah, I mean, their best player is a catcher. And he's $4,700. Like, that's not the easiest thing to stack. And also second base, a position that Kittel doesn't exist in today. So
Reese is obviously having a career year. Basically, you're going to waste
since Philly, right? Like his best year by far since
you're going to waste first base on Reese Hoskins here to stack with Chourio and spending up at catcher.
It's tough. It's tough.
I'd rather one off Chourio at 44.
Agreed.
And do something else there. So
agreed. We do love John's opinions, Cam. I agree.
Appreciate it.
Stowers is a good standalone. I do not care that he's returning home one bit. Because he could have hated his child. He could have hated his childhood.
John Rave, 27-year-old guy called up.
Yeah, he looked really bad in his first at bat. I watched it. My son was watching like that MLB Network recap that they have. Yeah. It's like a quick recap, and he wanted to watch the Royals. And they like showed his family like going crazy in the stands. Then he swung at a pitch that was like nowhere near the zone in his first at bat, and I was like, "Oh no, poor."
Wasn't a memorable home run, is what you're saying?
No, not every first at bat is the storybook ending there, John. That's
for sure. Who was the guy that homered for Pittsburgh off when the one time I decided to play Tyler Anderson?
Is it Gorky or something?
Yeah, Gorky. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, just homered first at bat.
Gorski.
Yeah,
we can actually just look this up because Pittsburgh's on the slate.
Yeah.
Gorski. Matt Gorski. 2 home runs, hitting 195 since then, by the way.
Yeah, homered that day, though. All righty. So we're doing Rodon and Horton. Getting chalky with it here.
You should read Poe Dejen's comment out loud.
Oh, I read it.
No, out loud.
I don't want to get banned again, so we're not going to put it on the screen. Yeah, we can all see the chat there. Okay. We got another 100 of you tuning in though, so I'll recap. This morning's preview show was taken down by YouTube. They claimed we violated some sort of gambling terms and conditions policy. If we get another strike, we lose channel posting access for a week. So if you do and look for the preview show and don't find it, go to fantasyslam.com. It'll be posted there. We have a Twitch channel. You can find the Twitch channel in the description of today's live show. You can follow us there. It'll be uploaded to there as well. Hopefully we don't get taken down from YouTube again, though. And we can continue to always publish our preview shows and go live here. But just to let you guys know, that's what happened this morning. So we appreciate all your support each and every day, hitting that share, like, subscribe button, and showing up for us. But YouTube wouldn't tell us what we did, why we did it, or how we could fix it. They just said, here's our terms. And those terms said that daily fantasy and fantasy sports are allowed. So I'm still not sure what we did. But anyways, that's what happened with this morning's preview show. All right, we got Rodon and Horton. Now's our top 2. Where do you want to go? Are we buying the Houston affordability chalk here today?
I mean, like I said in the playbook, John, I'd like the Astros to start hitting lefties today.
All right, so we do Cam Smith. We do Christian Walker.
Mauricio Dubois at second.
Well, I was gonna say what's like, do we do Pena leading off for them? Like how much Houston is too much Houston?
Like I personally don't have Christian Walker as my top first baseman.
Sure.
So that's
you're
where
playing Goldschmidt, I would imagine,
or one of the Diamondbacks,
or
who are both all in the same range. Those would be, because you could play Naylor, Goldschmidt, and Pavin Smith all in the same price range.
Sure. So then punting Dubon makes sense here.
Because I also think we're just punt catcher, or play one of those like 3K range catchers if you wanted. Honestly, like Yanier Diaz probably correlates the best here because we're playing end of Astros lineup.
Astros lineup, yes, 34, 7-6-9. not exactly the heart of the lineup, but
yeah, but also the top of the lineup hasn't been good.
So are you spending up on Diamondbacks? Are we doing like Carroll, Naylor, or Judge?
Yeah, I like my answer to. Sorry. Like my answer to Steven, and it was only my answer, not yours, because he asked me and not you.
I just stopped listening when he asked you, so I don't.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm asking you again where we're going.
That's true. I think Arizona is my top stack of the day. Okay. So Eugenio or 2023 All-Star, Geraldo.
I mean, this is fine, and we could still do Pena at this point. If we did Ozuna and Josh Smith, maybe, does that work? So we got our lefties in Texas. We have $700. Would you rather Diaz or Jonah?
I mean, I would probably rather play Diaz, but I would understand from a tournament perspective why you'd play Heim. Diaz actually has profiled good against lefties.
Sure.
So that would be the only thing. He has looked good this year against lefties.
So we have $700 left over. Would you rather play a Suarez or a one-off Devers?
I would rather play Suarez in this build.
Okay.
You could get up to Volpe as a one-off, play Perdomo as a complete the stack, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4. If you played Perdomo, you have literally just 1, 2, 4, 5. Yeah, because you don't play Lourdes here.
Okay. I mean, we left money on the table. Is this what we built this morning? No, we did Goldschmidt, right? But
no, we played Yankees because I think we played Judge and Volpe in the morning slate, and I think that's also like a super great approach.
Sure.
Because I think if we've talked to Tyler Anderson, the luck is just gonna run, dude. The luck is just gonna run out for Tyler Anderson. So.
All right. Well, then we have a Houston Diamondbacks stack with a one-off lefty Ozuna here against Bowden Francis, but Rodon and Horton up at the top for pitching here today, guys. A little bit of chalky, but that's fine. Sometimes that helps when building your bankroll. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, we'll have a preview show tonight. Hopefully it lasts on YouTube long enough for everybody to watch it. If not, you can find it on Fantasy Alarm. You can find it on Twitch. You can find it over on our Discord page. It'll all be there for you guys to check out. But until then, we'll see you tomorrow.